Not this one. This one.
You lead me through the wilderness and bring me out into your
Think back to our summits in 2019 where we visited pretty well every country in our Victory Asia region of nations. And there was a teaching message there that was basically about personal growth, about team dynamics, how to grow the team seriously, get a good team together, and then about fruitfulness. But the prophetic kind of message was that there is a place that I can go to receive the change that I need. And we were talking about a voluntary wilderness experience where we would be willing to go into that place and get a hold of God and not come out until we got the change that we need. And you know, when a bull chases a matador, he's going for the matador, he charges, but he ends up getting the cape. And the cape is a diversion. It's not the real thing. He wants to kill the matador, but he's always distracted. Well, pretty well always. Every once in a while, you know, a bull does get his horn into some guy's leg. But it's a distraction to keep him from getting the real target. And this whole fake wilderness is a distraction to keep us from the real wilderness where we can see change. And tell me if you haven't been praying and seeking God and having a sense of, God, we need revival. We need a revival. We need things to change. We need things to break open, to break loose. And there's around the world the voices, the prophetic voices coming about an oncoming tremendous revival. And so this is where we are right now, this tremendous opportunity to receive the change. Now, when Jesus went into the wilderness, I mean, it says that he often went into the wilderness to pray. But his first wilderness experience was the 40-day fast. And famine and wilderness are very similar. In fact, they pretty well come together, don't they? and in fact, you look through the Bible and you see so many things were established in famine. And they were for you too, weren't they? I mean, think about what you have done when you had a famine of people and resources. You know, that's when the real things were established. It's quite amazing. And Abraham, Isaac, all these guys, Agabus, remember in the New Testament in Antioch, there's going to be a famine. It's always an opportunity to become established and clear in the vision, and we receive our authority there. And when Jesus went into that 40 days in the wilderness, that's where he got his clarity, his vision, his authority for what he would come out and do. And so this is the answer to our prayer right now. Don't get distracted with the red cape or the pink cape or whatever color the matador uses, because behind that there is an opportunity for a real wilderness establishing clarity, vision producing experience with God, where we have a place that we can go and not come back until we receive the word that we need to receive. And so I really want to encourage you, our leaders all across Asia and wherever you may be, to go into this thing, you know, and through this thing with enough clarity to know that this isn't the real issue. It's a distraction. The real issue lays behind what we see on the news and the negativity and the fear and the anxiety and all those kind of things. Put those things aside and press beyond that and get into that place that, you know, beyond the veil, where we come in contact with a relationship with God where he's speaking to us the purposes and the clarity, the vision for the next season. Because it's going to be the greatest season that you and I have ever experienced. So I want to encourage you today. You know, in Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 1, well, just before that in chapter 10, he says, we hold fast the confession of our faith, not wavering. And in Hebrews 11:1 says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And Bible translators have tried to put a lot of different words in there to help us understand, you know, what substance is and what evidence is. And so whatever your translation says, this is a spiritual principle, that faith is the reality. There's something real there. It's you know, like my great big 8-pound hammer that's sitting over there. That thing has some substance. And for the difficult jobs, I pick up the big one. Not this one, this one. And there's the evidence of things not seen. So we press in knowing that we know that God who created the heavens and earth has given us a word. And in that place of wilderness, volunteer wilderness, we get a hold of that word, the revelation of the word, not just a new translation, not just a new idea of what this might mean, not another opinion of what this might mean, but the revelation, the substance, the evidence that drops into our heart that we are going to accomplish the call and the purpose of God. So bless you today. Have a great week. See who you can minister today. Forget about all of the fears and the anxieties and what I need and what I don't have and oh, my hurt little heart. Forget about all that and let's push into how we can see the reality and the vision and the purpose of God come to pass for this next. And I'm talking to leaders now, all right? You need to minister to the people that are hurting and that are lonely and that are full of anxiety. But you know what? We got a choice. We can be the one that ministers or we can be the one that needs ministry too. And I choose to go into that volunteer wilderness, that place where we get established in what God has called us to do. Yeah, so carry on with this word and let's see some great things happen this week. Bless you.
In every season, I know you lead me through the wilderness and bring me out into your abundance. Everywhere I look, goodness overtakes me.